this thing live? Are we out on the airwaves, Shyam?
We are live.
You'd think for how many times we've done this that we'd get better at it, but maybe it's not.
Oh, we got the layout correct now, so I believe people can see us and see the slide deck.
Yeah,
So that's good.
So welcome everybody. Appreciate, as always, taking time out of your busy day to sit with Shyam and I and talk about what we're doing at Reworked and some of the new features that we're adding. I think you'll pick up on the theme here, our ethos of quality over quantity, easy and fast. And that's essentially everything that we're trying to do, starting from where we began in January to today. Today, we've got a couple more features that we want to walk you through that we're just super excited to share. And we've already started sharing this with roofers that we're talking to, and contractors and manufacturers and distribution companies. And it's all about getting more customers, getting in contact with your customers easier, to lower your customer acquisition costs, to just be sharper and more tactical. And there couldn't be a time where we all need more of that. So we're going to be talking about home ads, storm, and email alerts, and hopefully also being able to touch on, we'll get an update from Shyam on where we are with SMS. So we'll talk about this latest product of how do we get content directly in the home. And this is not a broad audience or lookalikes. We looked high and low to find a company that believes in the same type of quality over quantity approach. And we're really pleased to partner with El Toro, right? And what we've seen is just doing mailers, we're getting response rates 2 to 4%, which is beating out a traditional every door direct mail significantly. But we knew that if there's digital content to supplement and assist in brand recognition and awareness of the customers, your customers, that the response rates can double. Alex, I see Alex, can you hear us? Hopefully. Oh, okay. So let's talk about this. What do we all know for digital advertising? We give it to one of the large conglomerates out there that uses their algorithms to create lookalikes for who we want to address. It used to work. It used to be very successful. But in today's day and age, and here's the dirty little secret, that if I'm a roofing contractor or any home services for that matter, and I'm trying to get my content, my pay-per-click out there, I'm competing with the nationwide aggregators for attention. I'm competing against their budgets. I'm competing against their scale and scope. And as a roofing contractor or any homes, you're losing. They are coming on top of you. They are getting to people before you. And then you're buying leads from them at several $100s to fund their ability for you to not be able to do your pay-per-click. So the way we've approached it is we already know the bad roof and the great homeowner. We've already got that. We got the imagery powered by EagleView, the computer vision to understand the roof. We're looking at the homeowner. We're finding a great homeowner, financial capacity, family composition, responsibilities, a homeowner that wants to protect not only their investment, but their family, couple dogs, cats, cars, the whole 9 yards. Now, El Toro, through their patented algorithm process, can take John Stevens as a homeowner at 123 Sycamore Drive, Peoria, Illinois, and find the IP address for that home, which is quite unique. That will allow us and El Toro to put banners and your logo and your tagline or your saying directly in that home. What does that mean? So the computer, when you're checking out MLB.com or you're going to your news site or you're browsing recipes, whatever you're looking at, you're going to see the banners come up. And that happens within 24 hours. So you're getting your logo, your brand colors, a tagline in front of people that are going to receive your mailer. They might have seen this 2, 3, 4 times before your mailer even shows up. So by the time your mailer reaches that house, your letter to John, hey, John, I want to talk to you about your roof. We think you might have something going on. It's really important that you address these things. Whatever that content says, John has already seen your logo 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. He's already internalized that he knows your logo. He knows your company. You've become familiar. So as he sees your logo again and sees the picture of his home and sees what's going on, and you're explaining that there could be something that he needs to address, he already feels familiar. It superpowers this inquiry rate and helps drive inquiries and helps drive the right inquiries. The people that have already been identified with a bad roof, with the right homeowner, to reach out and have a conversation with you about what's going on with their home and their roof. This goes across tablets, phones, computers, to a lesser extent, TVs. El Toro does have some amazing capacity to put videos and commercials in to streaming services that are supported by ads. But what this really does is this gets the familiarity and brings that value right to you as the contractor, as the company that's reaching out to them. We could continue, Shyam?
Yep.
Let's keep going. So let's talk about the sequence of events. I'm a roofing contractor. I'm a marketing director for a roofing contractor. I own a roofing business. I am actioning opportunities. I'm finding 2,500 opportunities in the area that I've chosen. We go out, we're finding the bad roofs and the great homeowners. You have chosen to do a 2-touch mailer. You're going to have a letter go out followed by a postcard. You're also choosing to put IP ad content in the home. So day 1, day 0, you've made your decision, you've chosen your area, the system is working. As soon as we identify that list, because remember, it's not instantaneous. It takes an hour and a half to 2 hours for us to do our work to get that information. We're then sharing it with our direct mail integrator. We're sharing it with El Toro. El Toro starts immediately working to find those IP addresses to get your banners in place. Within 24 hours, your banners are showing up on the screens inside that home. Day 3 to day 5, 7, your letter has arrived. Again, that homeowner's seen the content, they've seen your logo, they feel familiar. Day 10 to day 12, your postcard's coming in as a reminder. So you're getting anywhere from, let's call it 7, 12, maybe 18 to 20 different impressions and views, including your letter, on that homeowner who's already been identified as having a roof problem and being the right type of homeowner. No one else is doing this, right? This is just the most tactical, quality-driven way to get your message to the right customer, to get them to act on it and get them to call, scan the QR code, to get in touch with you, to ask you, what do you mean, what's going on with my roof? And it's important that we all remember, every time you're touching a customer, yes, you'd like to sell the roof. You'd like to sell the full re-roof with one call, one email, one ad banner. But the reality is what you're trying to do is get to the next touch, to get to the next conversation, to move that customer through the funnel, through your sales pipeline, to eventually be able to close, do the work, collect on it, gain the referral. We all know how that works. Can we come on, Shyam? So Jackson MacArthur is on the call as well. Jackson, thanks for taking the time. Nothing but love for El Toro and the development of what we put together. El Toro, as I said, they've got capability beyond what we're offering today. If you want to talk about getting video content in the home for ad-supported streaming, I encourage you to reach out to Jackson at eltoro.com and have a conversation with him. So again, you pick your audience. You pick your creative. You don't have to have a marketing company. You don't have to be a marketing genius. You don't have to do anything else. It all flows at Reworked.ai. You're picking your colors. You're putting your brand color in. You're putting your logo in. I did this a undercover test. I had somebody that's a friend of mine go in, sign up, action it. You're looking at 2 to 3 minutes of your time, even on your first time to go through there, to pick your audience, understand what's out there, pay for your order, and it's out the door. And then you can go spend time doing the things that you want to do, selling roofs, checking on your crews, going fishing, going golfing, going pick the kids up at school, take your spouse somewhere, doing something else. We've got your back, and we're getting the content out there. All right.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's time for a demo, huh, Fred?
Yeah. So Shyam's going to walk us through how this works so you can get a feel for it. Hopefully there's no glitches.
Yeah, well, may the demo gods be with us, right? So there are 2 mantras that we live by. One that Fred mentioned, quality over quantity. The second one that Fred did not mention is make it super simple, right?
I said easy. I said easy.
You did say easy? Awesome. So yes, we do want to make it super easy for our customers, and you'll in a minute see how easy it is. So this is a page. I recognize a few names that have joined the call that some of you are familiar with. This is the Find Opportunities page. Now you'll see a similar feel on the Storm Opportunities and scoring as well. But what you have here is, once you enter the geography of where you want the bad roofs and great homeowners, here I have Ada County in Idaho. There are about 162,000 homes, out of which we think there are 33,000 qualified roofs or opportunities for you to pursue. So here are the add-ons, right? You can get roof area estimate, phone numbers, emails, Google satellite images, the direct mail campaign, which we've spoken about in the past that customers are using. This is a 2-touch campaign, a letter and a postcard. And now introducing the direct-to-home ads, right? So when you click on that.
Question for you here, because I can anticipate this question. We're offering Google images at this stage, right? Now, I want to make sure everybody knows, at this stage of your funnel, right? It's just this outreach. We all know that EagleView has got the best imagery. It is the best in the industry. But at this stage of your outreach and your funnel, it doesn't make sense to spend the money on the Google imagery, right? The fact that we're getting the condition and what's going on with that roof from the from the EagleView imagery, that's what's important, right? But you don't want to be looking at $1 of an image to put at this stage. It would just make the outreach uneconomical. Sorry, Shyam.
No, that's a great point, and let me actually re-emphasize that. When we identify these bad roofs and great homeowners, we are absolutely using EagleView's APIs and EagleView data to identify those bad roofs. But for those images to go on every single mailer, it's not economically viable, and it's not required as well. A Google satellite image is perfectly reasonable at this point. Now, should we tease a little bit maybe one of the upcoming features? Slightly, maybe. All right. EagleView imagery will be used in a landing page that we are working on, where you can imagine a customer scanning that QR code taking them to a landing page, and that landing page showing the EagleView imagery with annotations.
Well, now that you've teased a little bit, let's just make sure everybody understands, right? We've identified a pain point. There is a QR code on the mailer. The QR code is 98% of the time linked to your company webpage. And what we're trying to add is a unique landing page that's branded for your business. But when that customer scans, because we already know who that customer is, we already know their name, we already have the image of their house, we know their address, we know the size of the roof. When they scan that QR, we don't want it to go to fill your name in roofing company. We wanted to open up and say, hey, John, with their address, with pictures of their roof, annotated with what's going on with the roof, talking about a health score for the roof. So this is the first in the industry to say, look, here's what's going on, John, Steve, Betty, and without having to ask a question. We haven't asked for their email address. We haven't asked for their phone number. Nothing feels icky. You're giving it to them on the front end to move them through their funnel. Sorry, Shyam, I hijacked it.
No. Yeah. Well, I'm super excited about that feature. So I think we'll obviously have another webinar about it, and we'll talk a lot about that as well. But coming back to the direct home ads, the super easy part is what I want to talk about. All you need to do is come in, enter your company name, your phone number, website, license number, the landing URL where when somebody clicks on that, where should that go, and upload a logo. And then you will actually see in different banner sizes, what that might look like. And you can also select your brand color, right? It gives you a hex coloring gradient. You can enter whatever your brand color is and what the call to action label is. Now, we are bringing about also the capability to just add the heading and the subheading. So to make that a little more flexible so that you can enter, whatever you want. So that'll also be part of this as well. So, but this is live. What you're seeing is all, is live. You can use it. You can go to Reworked.ai. When you purchase the opportunities, you can simply, select the direct to home ads. And as Fred was mentioning, it'll immediately kick over to El Toro. Once we get the audience file, once we've run our algorithms, we've hit EagleView, we've gotten the bad roofs, we've identified the great homeowners, we've done all of that. It takes about 2 hours for a list of about 1,000 records. Then we send that file over to El Toro. They do an IP matching, and then they set up the ads, and it's like live instantly, right? So that's the feature.
Nice. Thank you, Shyam.
Yeah. Now go ahead, Fred.
No, go on.
Yeah. So coming back here, there's speaking about teasing features, there's one more that I'm super excited about. Now, this is very pertinent to storm restoration roofers.
Insurance.
Insurance, yeah. Now, as you know, when a severe hailstorm hits, time isn't just money; it's everything, right? Like in today's scenario, the way that works is a storm hits, you may or may not know about it, for a day or two, or whenever you're either looking at news or whatever your sources are of information. Then you put together a marketing campaign, or you send canvassers to that particular. Now we also need to figure out where it hit. So there's like many steps in that. Now we've simplified, again, speaking about easy and quality over quantity, we've simplified all of that. So first of all, just to kind of recap our storm feature, which, maybe I'll quickly show that as well, Phil. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
So, what was it, Fred? Like a couple of days ago, we got a call at like 10 p.m. our time, like, oh, hey, Fred, I see on your site, it's already gone. There were like these three events.
There it is, yeah.
The 3 events in Illinois. I want to get, actually, why don't you narrate this story?
Yeah, so this is a customer that saw the storm event because they were browsing our site and said, wow, this is, so reaching out to me kind of late at night for me. But Shyam and I got on the phone with him, walked him through how to do it. And so anytime a storm takes place, and let's characterize a storm. A storm is 1 inch hail or greater, right? We all know the 1 inch hail or greater is what's going to impact the vast majority of the roofs out there, especially asphalt shingles. So that night we worked through how he could do it. The next morning it's out the door. But everything you're seeing here, everyone can go check this out, right? This doesn't cost any money to go see this, right? This is just create an account, right? Everything we've shown you is free to go see. And what's really exciting for me and all of us here is now with El Toro, we can beat the canvassers to the home. We can get your content in those homes before you can get any canvasser on site. The storm happens. The storm's recorded. Our 4 individual unique data sources confirm the storm, and not just that there was a storm path, because that's worthless. There's a storm path and there's 100,000 homes. No, this is saying, okay, this one right here is 271 opportunities. We know they all had 1 inch or greater hail. 271. All right. So now you could take those 271 and hit it with the El Toro IP in-home content in 24 hours. Follow it up with the letter that's going to be there in 3 to 5 days, and do it in conjunction with canvassers. But once you see it's already working, you may be in a situation where you're like, I don't have to put canvassers on the street. I'm going to reach out and get enough content in this home via my mailers and postcard and in-home content that I can convert as many as I need and get the conversations without having to have whole crews out there knocking the neighborhood.
Yeah, and I believe, and folks can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first in the industry. I don't think there's anything like this out there. But this is, by the way, what I'm going to speak about now is stuff that we're building as we, now it's not live, but
the storm opportunities are live, but the alerts are coming. Yeah,
the alerts are coming. So yeah, Fred was talking about the call that we got. Now think about rather than him perusing our site and finding these, what if the storm hits and minutes after that he gets a text, right? A text message, an email saying, hey, you in your profile, you had said, alert me if storm hits this particular, their area of interest. They get a text, they get an email, but not only that, we can also set up the El Toro ads automatically. We can also set up the direct mail campaign hands-free, super simple, right? No human intervention at all. You're just sitting there having it dinner, and boom, mailers are going out, ads are going out.
You're going to be able to enable that with areas and geographies that you want. And when it happens, when a qualified event happens, you don't have to do anything. You just get alerted that the event happened, and what you prescribed as your outreach, the in-home content, postcard, mailer, whatever, boom, it's already fired and you're sound asleep.
Yeah. Wow. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking
about
it.
Yeah, me too. I still love talking about this.
Awesome. Okay. So this one is also coming. This one will actually come a lot sooner than the storm one that you saw just now. If, there are customers I see in the webinar as well that have been using our direct mail campaign capability. I have been, or somebody from the team has been sending you guys an email every time we get a scan. Hey, this person scanned, and we also send the skip trace data. But now it'll just come to you via text and via email saying, okay, this person, did a QR code scan. It's just, it's just about reaching them. I love how the guys put this slide deck together. Call while they're holding it, right? Like they're holding the mailer, and you can reach back out to them. Now, I should, for legal purposes, caveat that the numbers and the emails that we give hasn't been, we skip trace it, but hasn't been checked for DNC. So, it is for information purposes, but I urge you to, do your own checks before reaching out. But we give that capability and the flexibility in order to reach out. Right?
Yeah, but there's also emails there too, right? And because you or your team are going to send out one email to John Stevens, it's probably going to get through because you are not flagged as a mass mailer by Google, and it's probably going to get through. It's like, hey, John, I saw you might be interested, and we're here for you, right? So our automation, eventually I envision us building out that it's automated, and we'll send the email under yours on your behalf, right? So again, it's got to be easy. Life is too short to make this stuff hard, right? There's enough technology in the world to make these things easy or easier. We just got to take advantage of it. So this is our wrap up. Everybody knows it's $1.79 an opportunity. The mail sequence is $2.71. We haven't changed that, even though the USPS increased their postage rate. That's fine. So the in-home content is 98 cents per opportunity. And the simplicity of this pricing, you buy 1,000 opportunities times 98 cents. The math is that simple. So $5.48 all in gets you all of what we're talking about, I feel like we're talking about Ginsu knives on late night TV here, a low cost of $548, all of these attributes, right? But it's true, right? And you don't have to, do multiple phone calls, have different products set up, have different things running. It's all right there. And we are working diligently to get ourselves inside CRMs. We're having conversations with the team at Proline, Job Nimbus. We're really excited about where that can go. So again, your CRM can do the work for you as it was meant to do.
Awesome.
So we got this done in 26 minutes. Our goal was 20, but we want to give some time back to you. This recording we'll be sending out. But if you got any other questions or any other concerns, or we love these ideas, because all of what we develop, all of what we're putting out there is because someone said, hey, what about this? Oh, that's a good idea, right? So we love the feedback. It's Fred at Reworked.ai or Shyam, SHYAM at Reworked.ai. It's Reworked.ai. You can get a hold of us. You can book a call. Happy to chat. Happy to be here for you guys. So again, thank you everybody for showing up and being here. Have a great Thursday, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.